I would like to call our meeting to order at 6 o'clock and declare that we do have a board quorum present. If you will please stand for our invocation, which will be led by Mr. Joe Reinhardt, and our pledges of allegiance, which will be led by BSA students Christian Guerra and Anika Villanueva. Mr. Reinhardt?
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, at this time of the year, we only have one thing to remember, the fact that you brought us, our Son Jesus Christ, your Son Jesus Christ, who has led us through our lives. We ask that each parent, each family, each student, each professional, each person in this room, each person in this world remember the reason why we celebrate next Tuesday. And I ask that you take every family here tonight, protect them, guide them, and bring them safe, haven to wherever they may travel, and that you bless each one here tonight. Amen.
Amen. All right, please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join us in the Texas flag.
On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
I would like to ask our board to begin making its way to the front as we transition into our awards, achievements, and recognitions. I will now turn our presentation over to Mrs. Carla Christmas.
Good evening, Superintendent Massey, Board President Howard, board members, staff, and all of our guests. Tonight we have much to celebrate in our awards, achievements, and recognition. I would like to welcome back Mr. Reinhardt, who's been out for some medical reasons and will be staying back in the back while we do the recognition. Our first recognition this evening will be presented by our Associate Athletic Director, Mr. D. Diatley. Keys with a giraffe before we begin. Keys with a giraffe. State of Texas, home. Oh. Now, Coach Diatley, field time.
Good evening. I'm going to introduce the Brazos Wood Ball Sports. First, we'll start with Brazos Wood Volleyball. The Ladybugs, coached by Elizabeth Lemus, extended their season this year by again going to the playoffs. The players receiving honors. We have first Maddie Johnson, second team All-District. Honorable mention All-District, academic All-District, Grace Nichols. Academic All-District, Cora Bowles. Academic All-District, Ashley Hutchins. Academic All-District, Sydney Lang. Academic All-District, Caitlin Price. Academic All-District, Trinity Rieger. Academic All-District, Albany Robertson. Academic All-District, Madison Varga.
Let's turn sideways towards one another. Turn.
Good job.
Sorry, one more picture.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Anybody else?
Next, we have the Brazos Wood Girls and Boys Cross Country. Once again, they had a great year, and they are led by Michael Cummins. First, we have regional qualifier, Edmund Franklin.
Way to go.
Regional qualifier, Madison Hobbit. Regional qualifier, Riley Coleman. Regional qualifier, Amy Torres. State qualifier, Leo Perez. Regional qualifier, Angel Blanco. Regional qualifier, Manuel Gonzalez. Regional qualifier, Dominique Mayo. Regional qualifier, Peter Young. Regional qualifier, Colin Jameson. Regional qualifier, Sam Whitmore.
Here and here, come on down. Yeah. Come on down. Okay, gentlemen. All right, turn towards one another. Turn a little bit. Same thing with you guys. Turn towards each other a little bit. No, turn towards me. That. Yeah. It enables us to get everybody's face in, which is kind of what we're looking for. All right. Okay, everybody just stay. Let's take pictures. Anyone else? All right, thank you.
Next, we have Brazos Wood football. First, we have Lane Caballero, honorable mention all-district quarterback. Andrew Striner, first team all-district punter, second team all-district wide receiver. Stevie Velez, first team all-district cornerback. Dorian McDougal, second team all-district linebacker. Second team all-district guard, Michael Ritchie. And first team all-district tight end, KJ Brown.
Oh, you want to be the center? Come on with that. Apparently he does. Got everybody? Parents, if you want, we'll let you take pictures in just a minute, no problem. Come on in. You want to come on in and take some? Go ahead. Please. Keep smiling, everybody.
That's going on the refrigerator.
Look at it. He's smiling.
Got everybody? All right. And now we're going to have a little bit of a switching out of folks. Presenting our next student athletic awards, Presburg High School's interim head football coach, Scott Smith.
First, we have our volleyball young ladies, Brianna Brimage, academic all-district, and second team all-Brazoria County. Next, first team all-district, academic all-district, and Brazoria County first team, Brianna Reyes. Honorable mention all-district, academic all-district, Emily Farrell. Second team all-district, and Academic All-District, Jeremy Shaden. My district champions, area finalist, Navia Goins. She's messed up here. Lachey Neal. Honorable mention all district, Miley Velasco. Mariah Trevino. District 24-4A MVP, Brazoria County Most Valuable Player, Micaiah Burton. Terrace Bonner. It's a no-show. And sorry for what I'm reading here off of this. That is our volleyball young ladies. And our Coach of the Year, Glenn Johnson.
Everybody, just take your pictures. Go ahead, stand up and take them. Good. We're happy for it. Judy, keep smiling. Everybody got it? Okay, thank you.
Next we have our cross-country team, boys and girls. Regional qualifier, David Gomez. Regional qualifier, Tony Cruz. Regional qualifier, Miguel Champ. Regional qualifier, Aaron Navarrete. Regional qualifier, Darian Forgiano. Regional qualifier, Viviana Ruiz. Regional qualifier, Carmen Gomez. Regional qualifier, Abby Marrara. Regional qualifier, Sierra Cordova. And regional qualifier, Maggie Rodriguez.
Appreciate it.
All right, parents, go ahead. Just keep smiling.
Our football team, all-district first-team tackle, Emeka O'Neill. First-team defensive back, Caleb Braddock. Second-team offensive line and academic all-district, Tyler Retzloff. Second-team linebacker and academic all-district, Logan Forson. Second-team all-district linebacker, Titus Luera. Off-district, honorable mention, Brandon Grimmage. honorable mention, Michael Cruz. And all-district honorable mention and academic all-district, Eddie Flores.
Stay frozen, stay frozen. People will still take it. Thank you. Now, presenting outstanding academic athletes will be BISD's Chief of Staff, Mr. Brent Jacob.
Good evening. 17 Brazosport ISD student athletes have been recognized by the Texas High School Coaches Association as members of the Academic All-State team. These students have demonstrated the ability to excel at both academics and athletics. The Academic All-State teams are students who excel in the following categories: GPA, class rank, and ATC, ACT, and SAT scores. The following students are being recognized as a team member based on their scores in these categories. We applaud them for their commitment and dedication to perform with the highest of excellence academically and athletically. From Brazoswood High School, Lane Caballero, honorable mention. Brazoswood High School, Davin Vasquez, honorable mention. Brazoswood High School, Andrew Shiner, second team. Brazoswood High School, Jalen Townsend, honorable mention. Brazoswood High School, Aaron Moore, second team. Brazoswood High School, Matt Tyler, honorable mention. Brazoswood High School, Connor Goodwin, honorable mention. Brazoswood High School, Dustin Guyona, second team. And Brazoswood High School for football, Colton Wise, second team. Football from Brazoswood High School, Logan Forson, second team. Football, academic all-state team. For volleyball, Brazosport High School, Emily Farrell, honorable mention. For cross country, Brazosport High School, first team, Madison Treyas. Brazosport High School, first team, Mary Maxwell. Brazosport High School, honorable mention, Toby Romero. Brazosport High School, honorable mention, Taylon Jamison. And last but certainly not least, an academic all-state elite. An elite player has near perfect scores in all the categories of recognition. It's Amanda Price, an academic all-state.
I'm going to ask the ladies to come up here.
Everybody on it? Nope, not yet. You got it? All right.
We'll move from student recognition to staff recognition. Mr. Ron Redden, Executive Director of Compliance and Data, will present our next award.
Good evening. I'd like to invite District Coordinator of Assessment and Accountability, Randy Winchie, to please come forward and join the Board of Trustees and Mr. Massey at the front. On November 13th, Randy Winchie was named the Region 4 District Testing Coordinator of the Year by the Texas Statewide Network of Assessment Professionals, an honor for which he is very deserving. Mr. Winchie began his career as an educator 26 years ago. After 10 years as a classroom teacher, he began his career as a campus administrator. After assignments at Jane Long Elementary, Lake Jackson Intermediate, and Rasco Middle Schools, Mr. Winchie was named the principal of Elizabeth Ney Elementary School. In the summer of 2015, he assumed the position of Coordinator of Assessment and Accountability for the district. Since moving to his new position, Mr. Winchie has been setting the standard for educational excellence at both the region and state level through multiple presentations on the innovative methods he has created and is using to coordinate state assessment administrations. In the last 3.5 years, Mr. Winchie has presented his methods 4 times at the State Assessment Conference and 3 times at Region 4. He is recognized by his peers as an expert in the use of technology to facilitate the state assessment process. Mr. Winchie's selection as the Region 4 District Testing Coordinator of the Year is the highest honor bestowed by the Texas Statewide Network of Assessment Professionals, the official network of testing coordinators from around the state. We're very proud of Mr. Winchie and the ways in which he sets the standard for educational excellence every day, not just at statewide or regional events. Congratulations, Randy.
Use some of that power now.
Thank you. Presenting our final recognition this evening will be Michelle Griffith, BISD's Instructional Resource Coordinator and Lead Media Specialist.
The Natalie Woolsey Toy Drive originated in 2004 when Natalie, a Brazos Wood graduate, began collecting toys in conjunction with the beauty pageant during the Lake Jackson Festival of Lights. Natalie's goal was to bring joy to the deserving children of Brazoria County during the Christmas season. After she passed away, pageant contestants carried on the toy drive in her memory. After the pageant came to an end in 2011, a group of her friends decided to continue the tradition. They are now a nonprofit organization that hosts an annual toy drive in her memory of their friend. 4 years ago, Josie LaChance, founder of the nonprofit, reached out to media specialists in BISD with an idea to expand the impact of the toy drive to Brazosport ISD students by putting a book in the hands of every elementary child. The 8th annual Natalie Woolsey Toy Drive was held on Saturday, December 1st. In addition to the toy drive this year was the opportunity for businesses and community members to become literacy sponsors for a specific school. These literacy sponsors cover the expense of every elementary student in BISD being able to select 2 books from campus scholastic book fairs. With over $26,000 raised and donated to our BISD Education Foundation, I have the check right here. Every elementary campus held their scholastic book fair at their campuses last week, and every student in BISD chose 2 free books for a total of over 10,400 free books selected by BISD students. Tonight it is my honor to recognize the following Natalie Woolsey Literacy sponsors. Please join Mr. Massey and the board when I call your name. For Swagelok, Amanda Moen. For Chris, J&M Records. LaChance, San Miguel Roofing, the Mick family, Joe and Stephanie Bohan, Marty Emfinger with Aquastar and Friends of Natalie Woolsey Toy Drive, Dude Payne, Shane and Leslie McKee, Lisa Sutton Schrader, Lisa Waller Ballard, Alex and Haley Ruthstein, Gary and Susie Miloradovich, Josh and Megan Gerard, Troy and Sabrina Brennan, Justin and Nicole Yaquin, and lastly, Josie LaChance. On behalf of the Board of Trustees and every elementary student in BISD, thank you for supporting literacy, and thank you to all the volunteers who coordinate the Natalie Woolsey Toy Drive each year. You are all helping us set the standard for educational excellence in BISD. We have our librarians from Polk, Ogg, and Newport Elementary who are also here and would like to thank all of you. This concludes our awards and recognitions, but we will be back in January celebrating the many great things our students and staff are doing to set the standard of Washington State.
At this time, in accordance with BED Local, the board will provide an audience with individuals who have signed up prior to the meeting to address the board. Tonight we have Brazosport Area Alumni Chapter, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority. Did I get that correct?
The ladies in red.
Yeah.
The ladies in red.
The ladies in red.
She wanted to come with us.
And we have Ms. Cheryl Sellers.
Cheryl Sellers. Greetings, everyone. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, ma'am.
We are the Brazosport Area Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, or as Carla and Ms. Clara calls us, the ladies in red. I think everything we own is red. But we come today just to thank Brazosport ISD, Mr. Massey, Mr. Whitehead, the entire board and the district and principals for all that you do to support us in our efforts to serve our community. We are actively engaged as much as possible to serve our community. I am the current president of the chapter, and we have members here, our immediate past president, Lois Davis, I'm sure you all know her, Carolyn Edwards, who serves as our social action chair, and Cecilia Jasper and Sharita Neal, who are also members of our chapter. So we're some hard-working women in our community. But one of the things that a lot of people in the community may not know, that we have 5 areas that we focus on, which is educational development, economic development, physical and mental health, international awareness and involvement, and political awareness and involvement. So we want to make sure that we are always serving our community, and working with our school district is very important and a passionate area of service for us. We wanted to share a little bit about our Teen Summit, which is coming up actually next month, our 2019 Teen Summit. And educational development and mental health is a huge component of which we want to serve. And our theme this year is Real Talk with a Purpose. And it is for students that are ages 13 to 18 years old. And our focus will be leadership and mental health. We want to make sure that we are continuing to make sure that students are successful in every area of their lives. So we will have sessions for them to be able to attend. It will be fun, it will be engaging, and it will be educational, because we believe that we want to partner with Brazosport ISD and to continue to build leadership and students that are successful in our community. And beyond graduation, we want to make sure that we've given them a great plan of action as well. So we are here to let you know that this event will help them connect and learn new things about their peers, as well as participate in activities that promote success at home, in school, and within the community. So we will have this information disseminated within the community. We thank you, Mr. Massey, for sharing it as well. And we want as many kids as we can to come out and be a part. We thank Mr. Yos, the principal at Brazosport High School, for also supporting us and also giving us a venue where we can also participate and have this event. So there will be a lot of information passed out, and we hope to have as much support from our parents and students on this particular day on January 12th from 9 to 1:30. Bring your kids out, spread the word, and again, thank you for your support of the Brazosport Area Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will now ask Ms. Rebecca Kelly to conduct a public hearing to discuss the application of the Dow Chemical Company Comptroller Application Number 1273 for an appraised value limitation on qualified property pursuant to Chapter 313 of the Texas Property Tax Code. This is a public hearing, so audience participation is invited at the conclusion of her presentation.
Well, thank you, and good evening. In accordance with Board Policy CCG and Section 313 of the Texas Property Tax Code, tonight we will conduct a public hearing on the application from Dow Chemical Company, which is also known as Comptroller Application 1273, for an appraised value limitation on qualified property. We contract with Moat Casey and Associates to help review and process the application and agreement. So tonight I have Mr. Dan Casey with Moat Casey and Associates here to share information about the project and the value that this investment from Dow Chemical will have to BISD. So at this time, I'll turn it over.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, members of the board, Superintendent Massey. I'm Dan Casey of Moat Casey Associates. And what you have before you in this application from Dow, and it's been referred to, I think, in some of the materials as the Rockwell project, but it's they cite it as a global scale polyethylene plant, and based on the size of the investment, it qualifies as probably global scale. But the application before you, what they are requesting and what you're allowed to consider granting is a $30 million value limitation for 10 years for M&O tax purposes. As I indicated, that would commence with the 2022-23 school year. So this is going to take several years to construct, and that's the timing on it. But it is a sizable project in terms of taxable investment. What would show up on the tax roll with the application they have, about $700 million at its peak investment level in the 23-24 school year. So this is a sizable deal. The limitation applies for M&O taxes, but the full project value is taxable for an INS taxes for your bonded debt. So that's a significant improvement in your tax base as far as your ability to service any outstanding bonded debt that you have. The other thing is that you have negotiated 15% of the net tax savings as supplemental payments to the district. That's about the estimates we have right now. That's about a $7.9 million gain for the district over the course of the agreement, and then those funds can be used for any purpose, as things stand today. The other aspect of it, they've committed to a minimum of what the 40 qualifying jobs. So this is larger than a lot of the projects that you see in terms of employment. Those have minimum salaries in the $66,000 range under the current Texas Workforce Commission estimates. But it is again, this is a very sizable investment. Now, when you get to later in your agenda, in consideration of this, you're really being asked to look at two documents of findings of fact, which goes through and summarizes. This is an application was filed with you back in June, and then in November 26th, the controller issued what they call a certificate for this project, which means that based on the controller's review, this meets all the state standards and requirements under Chapter 313, and one that they essentially recommend based on their analysis of it. You do have two documents you're asked to consider findings of fact, and it builds on the controller's estimate or controller's certificate. Among other things they have defined in there is that this can, within a 25-year time period, the state and the district can see a return on the investment on this in terms of increased revenues. The other thing is that one of the things they've been asked to since 2014 is to certify, as part of their certification process, that they are convinced that this is a significant, the consideration of the 313 agreement is a significant factor in the company's decision as to where they locate this facility, and that they go through that in detail on that. All this information is included in the findings, and you're asked to review or approve a set of findings, but also the other thing you'll be asked to consider is an agreement on how all this works. It outlines the mechanics of it. Some of it's state prescribed, but I think primarily the key elements of the agreement are that they have hold harmless provisions in there to protect the district from any revenue losses. And then it outlines, as I mentioned, that 15% of net tax savings as far as supplemental payments. So this is a good sized project based on our review and based on the experience working on other valve projects before. It's just one we're very comfortable recommending to you for your consideration. I'd be happy to try to answer any questions.
Okay. This is a public hearing, so if anyone from the audience would like to ask questions, this is an opportunity. Or from the board. Hearing none, Ms. Rebecca Kelly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
It is a public hearing, so at this time, there's no action required.
All right. So there are no further questions, then we will close the public hearing. Next item on our agenda is the consent agenda. Are there any items requested to be pulled from the consent agenda at this time? If not, then do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Atkins, second by Mr. Reinhardt. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed by nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is our action item. Action item A is to consider and adopt the findings of the Texas Economic Development Act on the application of the Dow Chemical Company Comptroller Act, application number 1273. Ms. Kelly.
Okay, at this point, we've conducted the public hearing, and so the first of the two action items that we have tonight is to consider and adopt the findings on the appraised value limitation from the Dow Chemical Company application number 1273. And so at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Casey. The findings have been included in board book for your review, and he'll answer any questions that you have, and then we will have to take action on this item.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board, and Superintendent Massey. Yeah, the findings are one of the documents, as I said, that really outlines and goes through the various issues as far as the project meeting the state standards and requirements, and the job requirements being met. There's a whole series of things that are listed in there that you've got adequate within. We think you do have adequate revenue protection language in there, but basically all those are requirements that are to be met. Now, one of the things that the attorneys always tell me to do this, and I was going to say David Hodges' appearance has improved since the last time I was here. In any event, I'm sorry to get off on that. But ask you, and I think you've gone through this before, is that if there are any conflicts of interest, that those be disclosed and recorded in the minutes, and then also note that you follow the appropriate filings if there are any requirements. And I think the state auditor's office likes to have that before any actions are taken. I just wanted to cite that.
Mr. Yeah, Mr. Michael had to abstain.
Are there any questions on the findings?
I move for approval.
A second.
So, no questions. It's been moved by Mr. Schwartner and seconded by Ms. Patty Sayes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed by nay. It carries 6 and 1 abstention.
Thank you.
Next item is action item B, to consider and approve the agreement with the Dow Chemical Company and the comptroller application number 1273 for an appraised value limitation on qualified properties of school district maintenance and operation taxes pursuant to Chapter 313 of the Texas Tax Code.
Thank you. The second of the two action items tonight for application 1273 is to consider and approve the actual value limitation agreement with the Dow Chemical Company. And so included in your board book was a copy of the agreement. And so at this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Casey, who will present an overview again, and then answer any questions you'll have, and then we will have action for the board to approve the agreement.
Thank you again. Yeah, the agreement itself, and there's a fair amount of detail on these, and the reason being is that these really cover, you've got the value, you've got, well, in this case, you've got some prior years too, but you've got the 10 value limitation years. And the other factor that is included in this is that the company is required to operate this for 5 years after the value limitation expires. So basically, the agreement, portions of this are prescribed by the state, but there are others that stipulate the kind of standard hold harmless language. And you'll typically find that in Article 4 of this, and then Article 6 outlines the supplemental payments that I mentioned, 15% supplemental payments out of any net tax savings over the course of this agreement over the limitation years. So I'll be happy to try to answer
Any further questions? Yes, sir.
Just to be clear, the number of jobs that's to be created and maintained, do we get some kind of yearly report?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very good question. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You do. There's annual reports that are required to be submitted to the Controller's Office, and those are verified in terms of the wages to the Workforce Commission. So there's a good amount of reporting going on. That did not used to be the case, but I think particularly since they modified this in 2013, they really tightened up the reporting requirements on this.
I'll make a motion that we approve the value limitation agreement.
Moved by Mr. Atkins to approve, seconded by Mr. Schwartner. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed by nay. It carries 6 and 1 abstention. Sir. All right, thank you, Ms. Kelly. The next item that we have is to approve, action item C, to approve the second amended agreement with the Freeport LNG Development LP for an appraisal value limitation on qualified property, comptroller file number 1098.
Yes, this is a busy night for 313 agreements.
I like it.
We're changing projects, and we're going to, at this point, approve or consider and approve the second amendment to the agreement with Freeport LNG on application 1098. Again, this is in accordance with policy CCG and sections 312 of the Texas Property Tax Code. And at this time, I will turn it over to Mr. Casey, who will present an overview of the amendment, and then we will take action.
Getting your exercise.
Oh, that's fine. Thank you. Dan Casey, Bill Casey Associates. What you have before you, and Wes Jackson is here from Cummings Westlake and representing Freeport LNG. But what they've requested is basically, and this is a large project. I mean, in its peak value, it's about $1.5 billion. This is probably about a third of the visits I make to school districts are involved in adjusting some of the starting dates on this. I think what they've requested is they slide the limitation year from the 2020 2021 to 22, school year to 22, 23. And then $30 million limitation will start a year later. As far as financial consequences, there's really nothing negative in here for the school district. In this case, your supplemental payments are fixed at $100 per ADA for each year for 10 years, so it's about $1.15 million. It's nearly $11.6 million over the course of the agreement. I think that slides by a year, but basically those payments are fixed, and so you don't have any variation in those. So the same terms that you agreed to in the prior negotiations and discussions on the agreement.
At this time, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Kelly regarding the LNG?
So this really is delayed to the year?
It does. And just so you know, we received the letter back in August, and so all of the value projections that I've included for bond planning purposes took into account the year delay.
That's my next question.
Any other questions?
At this time, administration recommends the Board of Trustees approve the second amendment to the agreement with Freeport LNG on Comptroller Application 1098.
So moved.
It's been moved by Ms. Hayes. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Claire. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed by nay. Carries unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Kelly. The next item that we have is action item D, to consider the guaranteed maximum price for O.M. Roberts Elementary. Thank you, Mr. Casey.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
All right, in accordance with Board Policy CBE, and after much collaboration with the community and staff, the plan drawings and the construction documents are substantially complete. Therefore, our construction manager at risk, Sterling Structures, has provided us with a guaranteed maximum price for the construction of the new O.M. Roberts Elementary campus. Once provided, the owner and its architects must review the guaranteed maximum price for the purposes of either accepting and issuing the notice to proceed or rejecting and pursuing other construction delivery methods. We have had strong subcontractor participation in the bidding process, which has provided us additional confidence. The district's guaranteed maximum price for construction will be $19,819,778. A breakdown of the cost is included in the board packet, along with a budget to actual cost analysis. The overall budget for the project, including development costs and a 12% escalation, was $22,101,709, and the total estimated all-in cost, including development, architect services, and furniture and equipment, is $21,575,541. The total cost per square foot came in at $206.71. To recap the cost per square foot for Aug, Freeport, and Boydell Elementary, they were $204.64, $212.78, and $211.72 respectively. For Roberts, and in comparison to Aug, we have had to deal with the following factors: a drainage requirement to install a storm lift station, which has cost roughly $200,000. The steel on just the building structure has gone up almost $98,000. And then steel, aluminum, copper, and copper prices have gone up due to the tariffs. And in general, all material prices have increased 4 to 6%. So the cost per square foot at $206.71 is just a 1% increase from Aug Elementary. Considering the above identified factors, ALEC's recommendation to bid this project at the end of the calendar year was strategic and paid off, as it resulted in a high bid participation and an aggressive labor pricing market. We are very pleased with the 1% increase. So at this time, it is administration's recommendation to approve the GMP from Sterling Structures for the new construction, or for the construction of the new O.M. Roberts Elementary School. And happy to answer any questions.
Yes, sir.
Back one slide, what's the plus 2,330 square feet, what is that reference?
So they had to reconfigure the drop-off lanes based on the site location. And so in order to reconfigure them, they had to add square footage to get the wing out to the drop-off lane.
Square footage of the building or?
Yeah, of the building.
By 2,300 square feet?
Or a longer walkway? You want to,
These guys speak to that.
just a question?
Driveway was it easier?
We had several different options that we looked at with the team as far as how we could address the site conditions, which we also faced the same situation at Brannon. We did not add square footage to wasn't any additional spaces added, any additional rooms or anything, and we couldn't just flip the entire wing. So we had to reconfigure the end of the end of one wing some to allow for the exit and entry of the students to work with the pickup and drop-off lanes for that site. This item is strictly a site-driven issue. One option was to install a canopy along the whole length of the wing, which would have made the students walk a considerable distance to get into the building.
Any other questions?
Move to approve.
Second.
Been moved to approve by Ms. Reinhardt and seconded by Ms. Patty Sayes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed by nay. Carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on our agenda under action items is action item E, the Board of Trustees Legislative Advocacy Priorities.
Yes, sir. The Texas State Legislature meets every other year. It is important our state legislators understand where BISD stands on legislative issues. A draft of legislative advocacy priorities was sent to the board last week, and then again Friday. Mr. Atkinson made some edits and made some good additions. And so the school finance, in the areas of school finance, BISD supports legislation making public education a top priority. BISD advocates to modernize and simplify the school finance system to create a more transparent and equitable system. BISD advocates for truth in taxation as it relates to the implications of rising property values and the decline in state funding for public education. BISD advocates the state to share the cost of funding public schools by providing at least 50% of the foundation school program formula funding to reduce the over-reliance on state local property taxes. BISD advocates for the modernization of school funding weights, allotments, and adjustments such as the Cost of Education Index to support the true cost of educating students. BISD advocates for funding of full-day pre-kindergarten. BISD advocates for funding for career and technical education for students in 8th grade. In the category of school safety, Brazosport ISD advocates for additional and ongoing state funding for school safety initiatives and for flexibility in how districts utilize these funds to meet the unique needs of local schools and communities. Brazosport ISD advocates state-funded support for increased counseling services and campus-based mental health and behavioral health services for students. The academic needs of students cannot be separated from the social, emotional, and behavioral needs of students and vice versa. In the category of teacher retirement system, BISD advocates for the continuation of the current defined benefit pension for TRS members with increased state funding to assist with increased health care costs without shifting the cost to teachers, school employees, or school districts. BISD advocates to allow school districts to opt out of TRS active care. In the category of vouchers, BISD opposes any state plan that would use vouchers, tax credits, taxpayer savings grants, tuition reimbursements, or other means to divert public tax dollars to private entities, homeschooled students, or parents with no academic or financial accountability or transparency to the state, taxpayers, or local communities. In the category of charter schools, BISD opposes the further expansion of charter schools, including increases in the number of campuses under existing charters, unless they are subject to the same accountability and transparency rules as traditional public schools, including but not limited to public notices, school discipline, transportation, bilingual programs, policy notices, employment contracts, special education requirements, lunch programs, and enrollment criteria. In the category of accountability, BISD advocates for the establishment of a comprehensive accountability system that looks beyond high-stakes, one-day testing, multiple-choice exams to meaningful assessments that have value for students, parents, and teachers, as well as measures what each community deems important in promoting college and career readiness. BISD opposes the campus and district's A through F rating system. BISD advocates for a compliant state accountability system for students governed by individualized education programs. In the category of governance, BISD advocates for the expansion of options available to school districts designated as districts of innovation. BISD opposes any requirement for a supermajority or voter turnout to pass new school bonds. It is the recommendation of the administration the Board of Trustees approve the legislative agenda priorities regarding school finance, school safety, teacher retirement system, vouchers, charter schools, accountability, and governance.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Second. Moved by Mr. Atkins and by Mr. Porter, seconded by Mr. Porter. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed by nay. Definitely carries unanimously. Thank you very much. The next item on our agenda is under reports. Report A is the 2012-2014 bond project update. Mr. Alex Dornay.
Sir. Good evening. In accordance with Board Policy CV Local, it is my pleasure to present the 2014 bond update. As of November 12th, no appeals issued of $99,118,510, or approximately 56.64% completed or in progress. This slide shows the 2014 bond completed projects. This slide shows the current projects, which is Ogg Elementary and kitchen press box, and as of tonight, Roberts Elementary replacement under construction. Brandon Elementary replacement is in the bidding phase, and we will come to the board at the February board meeting for GMP approval. Ogg Elementary, opening in August of 2019, is moving along very well and on schedule. These photographs will show the substantial progress that has been made on the school. It is starting to look very, very nice with all the brick and all going into the building. This is looking towards the front entry. This is the front entry of the school. This is just another view from the front of the campus. Same with this slide. I took a lot of the front because it looks so good. This is the rear of the school, and as you know, this is the first two-story design that we've built of our prototype. At Freeport Elementary, the other wing comes out from the library where you see that equipment sitting. That's where the other wing comes out. So with the two-story design, it allows the library to have windows looking out onto the outdoor learning area. This is another view from the rear of the school. You see the library where that lift is, and then the wet lab, and then the two-story wing. This is a view from the back of the kitchen, the back of the library, back of the gymnasium and the cafeteria, and we have a canopy all along the back of that area. This is inside of the library, and as you can see, those are the stairs that are leading up to the second floor. Right to the left of the stairs is where the elevators will be. This is an image that shows at the top of the second floor is a collaboration area, and there is an outlook that is built where you can look out. That's glass, and it looks out over or down into the library. It's also a little teaching area that has writing walls on both sides of the window. This is a view from the second floor. This is a view from one of the classrooms that looks out over into the existing campus. This is a view looking from the serving line out towards the stage. And Roberts Elementary, which you approved tonight, we are now officially under construction. You will start to see activity taking place in a few weeks, but they will begin their behind-the-scenes work that you don't necessarily see activity on, getting their subcontractors in place, and then getting the construction trailer out and the construction fencing. However, you will see during the Christmas break a temporary drive, a pickup and drop-off lane that will be built over on the west side of the campus, as well as a canopy extension and sidewalk extension in the front. This is a view that you've seen before, which is the site plan of the school. And now you have some views showing Brandon Elementary, which we will come to you, as I said, in February, which will begin construction in March. This campus will also open at the same time as Roberts. These images show the colors that have been selected for this campus. This is the overview of the site plan, and then this is the traffic plan, the traffic flow plan, which we have already been to the City of Lake Jackson for approval from the Traffic Commission. Tomorrow night we have a meeting with the Planning and Zoning Commission for approval of the traffic plan, as well as the excuse me, the site and drainage plan. And I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Well, I'll tell you, as a member of the Lake Jackson Planning Commission, the big concern there has been drainage in the Anchusa, Dahlia, not Dahlia, area right there. It comes off 2004 down the street then, and you got some low places there. And that was, and Alec, no, that was a major discussion, and everything's worked well at Boydell, and so I think everything's probably ready to go.
There has been substantial behind-the-scenes meetings with the civil engineer and with the engineers with the City of Lake Jackson, and it's gone much smoother as far as it does not appear. I'm afraid to almost say this.
Don't say it tonight. Wait till tomorrow.
Okay. It's very, very good news.
Just get through tomorrow night first.
Yeah.
Say, everybody says amen, and then we'll be through.
There you go. But it's very good news, I think. So it doesn't look like we'll have to go to TxDOT and deal with them with the drainage and all that. So otherwise, we wouldn't be coming to you in February.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Mr. Atkins?
Since we're looking at Brandon in March, and Roberts essentially now, we're not concerned. I mean, we've got manpower covered.
Absolutely. We've
Subs and et cetera, because they're going to be overlapping.
right, and that's not a concern. We did start Roberts earlier than we typically start. We're actually starting Brandon when we normally start our project. So a lot of the things, there will be some overlapping, but I can let Mike attest to this, that they definitely have the contractors covered, and it's a good group. In some instances, it is the same subcontractor. In other instances, they may have separate. It just kind of depends on how the bids come in.
Have we had any inspections on some 90s at logs, pipes? Any of the elbows, just spot checking?
Oh, yes. They definitely looked at that.
Okay. Is there something tomorrow with the Alaska Greens?
There is that's strictly for the replat.
Oh, okay.
It's just a formality. In fact, we don't even have to go to the Alaska Drainage District for our drainage portion of it. They stated that they just didn't need us to, which was somewhat unusual. But they said as long as Lake Jackson approves it, because Lake Jackson pretty much controls
Get
it.
through them.
But tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. there is a meeting with Alaska Drainage District, which is just one of the items on the agendas for the replat, which our surveyor will be there for that.
Now, I will tell you this, as past mayor and member of the planning commission, Lake Jackson is quite excited that all the elementary schools are being rebuilt. I mean, it's a big thing for the whole city. For the whole community, what we're doing in Freeport, and we've done include, sometimes our engineer can be a little bit tenacious, but at the same time, he understands where we're going and where we're coming from, and this is kind of what Alec was alluding to, and we're very blessed, but let's just, until they say the meeting adjourned tomorrow night, then we'll high-five each other.
Any other comments? Well, no, I'm preaching to the choir. I could not be more excited about all the kids getting new schools and just the upgrades and just the difference that it makes. This is my excited face. No, this is exciting.
But the thing about it, you look at it, Mason, real quick, you look at it, Oregon Portal opened in '57. How many years ago was that? And people are still in school there. I mean, you know.
61.
How many?
61 years ago.
61? I think it's time for new schools.
I think we got our money's worth.
Yes, we did. Based on bar, but we got it.
All right, if there are no other comments on the bond project update, then thank you, sir. Thank you. Next item that we have under reports is the 18-19 District Improvement Plan First Quarter Review. Mr. Conrad.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everybody. In accordance with BQ local and each district goal, it's my pleasure to give the report on the first quarter progress made on the District Improvement Plan. You have a copy of the first quarter formative review in your board book. The District Improvement Plan, or DIP, required under Chapter 11 of the Texas Education Code, is a comprehensive plan to improve the district in each of the 5 areas covered by our district goals. The process of writing the annual DIP begins in the spring when the District Educational Improvement Council, or DEIC, partners with district departments to conduct a comprehensive needs assessment. Using the needs identified by the comprehensive needs assessment, departments set performance objectives, annual measures, and create strategies to aid the district in addressing identified needs. The plan is fully aligned with the BISD strategic plan. The 2018-19 plan features a total of 21 performance objectives and 136 strategies, which is a significant reduction from the 26 performance objectives and 195 strategies last year, and the 25 performance objectives and 216 strategies 2 years ago. This year, departments concentrated on narrowing the focus of our improvement efforts under each goal, and we're seeing the benefits of that narrowed focus. In the first quarter, 56% of strategies were evaluated as considerable progress or accomplished, compared to just 42% last year. At the heart of the academic improvement efforts found in the plan are the 5 student outcome goals and superintendent constraint measures. This year, the district will remain focused on ensuring that all students entering 3rd grade in the fall of 2020 do so reading on grade level, that students in grades 3 through 8 equal or exceed state averages on STAR performance, and that students being assessed on the STAR end of course exams also perform at or above state averages. We will continue our efforts to ensure that 93% of first-year 9th grade students earn 6 or more credits, and that we see increases in the post-secondary measures of students earning dual credits and enrolling in advanced placement and dual credit classes. We will also continue to provide opportunities for high school students to earn an increasing number of industry certifications. Finally, we will continue to improve teacher attendance and institutionalize professional learning communities across the district. Our efforts are designed to ensure that all students learn at high levels and that 100% 100% of BISD campuses continue to meet standard in the state accountability system. Major emphasis has been placed on institutionalizing balanced literacy, guided math, early literacy initiatives, capturing kids' hearts, and positive behavior interventions and supports. Additionally, district-wide safety and security initiatives are included in the plan, along with initiatives to recruit, develop, and retain highly effective teachers. Improvement strategies also include a focus on developing a facilities plan which is complete and will be presented to the board tomorrow night. Progress on implementing district improvement plan strategies is measured using the following scale. Accomplished, meaning 100% implementation. Considerable progress, meaning more than 50% implementation. Some progress, meaning less than 50% implementation. And no progress, meaning the strategy has not been started. And discontinued, meaning the strategy was discontinued for 2018-19. As you can see by this graphic, 24% of strategies were accomplished during the first quarter, while 32% had considerable progress. 39% had some progress, and 5% had no progress made. No strategies were discontinued. At the center of our efforts to improve the math and reading performance of every district student is a relentless focus on classroom instruction. In BISD, we want to set the standard for instructional excellence. Campus administrators and district-level coordinators and specialists regularly visit classrooms at the elementary and middle schools to ensure that guided reading is being implemented with fidelity. Guided reading is a literacy initiative that supports balanced literacy, the district's approach to improve student mastery of the language arts curriculum. In addition, with the institutionalization of the one-to-one initiative, classroom teachers are taking a blended learning approach to delivering instruction. Blended learning combines direct instruction with computer-based or online learning. Blended learning provides teachers with the flexibility to personalize student learning. Finally, one of the strategies under the READ 2020 performance objective is to celebrate student attainment of literacy skills. These students from Freeport Elementary School were recognized for becoming early readers. We continue to support the READ 2020 initiative by providing reading materials to the community. And lastly, to support and reinforce student learning, campuses are using Title I and Title III funds to provide supplemental personnel, tutors, professional development, and to purchase supplies and materials that support the learning of students from poverty and English learners. Under District Goal 2, Brazosport ISD learning environments will be safe and conducive to learning. Performance Objective 2 focuses district resources toward reducing the dropout rate and increasing graduation and attendance rates by providing support to students and families. The number of campus safety and security support specialists was increased with the addition of campus health and safety specialists at both high schools and at Freeport Intermediate School. The district continues to partner with the Stephen F. Austin Health Clinic, and services were expanded this year to include access to outside counseling services. We also continued our partnership with communities and schools to provide case managers on our high-poverty campuses, and with True to Life Ministries to provide mentors. This year, the district initiated Lift Up, which is an employee-to-student mentoring program. We also continue to provide Capturing Kids' Hearts 1 and 2, winning culture training, and District by Design support to enhance district staff's ability to connect and build positive relationships with students. Both high schools continue to provide team leadership classes to ninth graders. For the second straight year, BISD students attended Leap-Worthy Live in Houston, where they heard from inspirational speakers who challenged students to be remarkable. District fourth graders gathered at Brazosport High School for the annual Chicken Club rally, where they were challenged to stay away from illegal drugs and alcohol use. Campus safety and security remains a high priority in BISD. Not only were additional officers added to the police force, Chief Nichols and his team developed strong partnerships with local police departments and first responders to assure safe learning environments at every district campus. Congratulations to Madge Griffith Elementary, Polk Elementary, and Velasco Elementary Schools, along with Freeport Intermediate School, for being selected as educational grant recipients as part of this year's Dow Gives Education Grants program. The Education Grants Program gives K through 12 schools the opportunity to receive up to $10,000 in grant funding for science, technology, engineering, and math projects. Dow is one of several business and industry partners who provide BISD with outstanding support in so many ways. In addition to grants, these partners provide mentors to some of our campuses, purchase materials such as books to read for elementary schools, provide dictionaries to students, and fund high school career and technical education classes and facilities. Recently, ME Global donated $1 million to provide expanded dual credit opportunities with Brazosport College. As a district, we are grateful to our business and industry partners for their generous contributions and value the support they give to provide our students with opportunities to develop skills, earn college credit, and earn industry-based certifications that will assure that they graduate future ready. But we're not the only ones who are grateful. Watch this.
Here we do our chant. I'm going on a book hunt. I'm going on a book hunt. I found two good ones. I found two good ones. 'Cause I know how. 'Cause I know how. Thank you, Slave Slot. Thank you, Slave Slot. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Natalie. The books are just right. The books are just right.
You may recognize that as the Natalie Woolsey toy drive in the book drive. Isn't that cool? 3 years ago, the district implemented an initiative to begin creating a culture of professional learning communities on each campus throughout the district. Last year, we took steps towards institutionalizing this initiative when BISD principals included collaboration time for teachers and master schedules. Professional learning communities answer 4 essential questions. What do we expect our students to learn? How will we know they are learning? How will we respond when they don't learn? How will we respond if they already know it? This year, we're taking the next step toward institutionalizing a culture of collaboration throughout the district by ensuring that at least 9 of the 18 traditional campuses are rated as sustaining PLCs, and the others are developing as measured by the Professional Learning Communities rubric. To support this focus, some district campuses are sending teams to the Solution Tree RTI at Work Conference this January, and every BISD campus is sending a team to the Solution Tree PLCs at Work Conference in July. BISD is providing career and technical education students with hands-on experiential learning opportunities through real-world settings such as internships, clinicals, and practical learning experience to better equip and prepare students upon graduation. The goal for this year is for students to earn 500 or more industry-based certifications. The BISD welding program is continuing its tradition of excellence and industry recognition by training a new group of young men and women to enter the workforce as fully certified welders. One of the new practicum opportunities that began this fall was with our own child nutrition department. Students from the Brazos Success Academy are learning about food services by supporting the food services team at Lake Jackson Intermediate School each day. In addition to the certification programs offered through the high schools, students can take a wide array of science, technology, engineering, and math for STEM classes. This year, Robotics 3 was added to the high school course offerings to provide students with an opportunity to learn industrial droning. On Friday, each student in the class and their teacher, Mr. Brad Whitehead, successfully passed the FAA Remote Pilot's License exam and earned their remote pilot license. Isn't that cool? So what does that mean? Well, that opens the door for the class to legally build and fly their first industrial drone this spring. For the first time ever in Systems Go rockets, students are building 1-mile rockets, transonic rockets, and a Goddard rocket in the same year. Last week, BISD received a visit from Dr. Libby Cohen from Raise Your Hand, Texas. As part of the visit, she attended a rockets class, where she heard firsthand from students and former students about what the class has meant to them. From the former students, she learned how well the class had prepared them from college. From one of the Goddard students, she learned why career and technical education classes and opportunities are so important to our students. Michael Bomar, the student you see in the picture on this slide, told her, and I quote, "I thought I wasn't smart enough or couldn't afford to go to college until this class." The investment of the district and our local business and industry partners in our CTE program is changing the lives of hundreds of our high school students. This concludes my report on the first quarter of the district improvement plan. Since this is a report, board action is not required. I'll return in February with a second quarter report. So at this time, I'm happy to answer any clarifying questions you may have.
Questions? Yes, sir. There was one thing, well, it's a pair, they're side by side, but one thing that stood out when I was looking through it. On goal 1, performance objective 2, page 10, items 16 and 17. 16 is provide campuses with mass support program, and we have some progress. And then goal set, our objective 17 was provide grades 3 through 8 with STAR preparation materials, and this is no progress. Are we kind of behind there?
No, not necessarily. What will happen is a lot of the intervention classes or a lot of interventions will start occurring in the spring. So you'll see, and I didn't say that, usually in this presentation I mentioned something about the no progress areas. I've got one in there, in my department. But there's some of these are spring initiatives, some of them are fall initiatives.
Most of them are binary, but I didn't know if this one was binary, goes from nothing to complete, or if this was an iterative where we're rolling out multiple phases of
It just
materials.
depends. Sometimes, if the materials are provided, let's say that the materials are coming in and they're expected to be used for the second semester or beginning in February, then it would jump to accomplish at that point. Yeah, some of them are. Some of them are, you know, there's this method, and you saw in there as you went through it, there were several that were accomplished, so they're an action to take. And once it's taken, then we're.
I mean, a lot of the ones that had none were like conduct a survey or
Yes.
meet with parents or do a survey with parents, or which that's like just done. Like
Yeah, it's a done.
And so I didn't know if these were, like you said, successive rollouts where you give some material, then the next group comes in, the next
Yes,
group comes
it
in.
could be, and so we're looking at the spring.
Make sure I'll just try to ask, make sure.
This one's a good question, actually.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Reagan.
You bet.
Next item on our agenda of reports is Report C, the Advanced Course Enrollment and Career and Technical Update.
Good evening. In alignment with Board Policy EH Local Student Outcome Goal 5 and our district goal, Brazos Fort ISD will provide a rigorous and relevant learning experience to ensure that every student will be future ready. I will present an update on our advanced course enrollment. Our CTE Director, Jesse Jennings, will also provide an update on a career and technical education program. As you know, the district goal for post-secondary readiness has been set based on the number of industry certifications and AP dual credit enrollments. The goal states the post-secondary readiness measures of industry-based certifications and enrollment in AP dual credit classes will increase from 227 certifications and 2007 enrollments to 660 certifications and 2,125 enrollments by the year 2020. In 2018-19, the number of enrollments in Brazos Fort ISD students in College Board advanced placement classes and or dual credit courses will equal or exceed 2,090. I'll be providing a brief update on our status today for this measurement. This chart represents the combined enrollments for advanced placement and dual credit courses by school year. You will find the district total represented by the green line, Brazos Woods total represented by the blue line, Brazos Woods total represented by the blue line, and Brazos Port's total represented by the red line. Without including the spring semester courses into our average, the district total is 1,880 enrollments. You will find that Brazos Port's total increased while Brazos Woods decreased. We are not surprised by this change for Brazos Woods. Shortly, I will dig a little deeper into the reasons for Brazos Woods' enrollment decline. For Brazos Port High School, their enrollment of 431 represents 44 enrollments for every 100 students, while Brazos Woods' total of 1,449 represents 59 enrollments for every student. The gap for every 100 students between the two schools was 37 students last year, and this year the gap is only 15. This graph represents only the dual credit enrollments by school year. For the current school year, this only represents the fall semester. The spring semester has not been averaged in yet. For this school year, Brazos with 526 enrollments represents 21 enrollments for every 100 students, while Brazosport's 152 enrollments represents 15 enrollments for every student. The gap for every 100 students between the two school years was 9 last year and is only 6 this year. This graph represents only the advanced placement enrollment by school year. For this school year, Brazos with 923 AP enrollments represents 38 enrollments for every 100 students, while Brazosport's 279 enrollments represents 29 enrollments for every 100 students. The gap for every 100 students between the two schools was 28 last year and is only 9 this year. The decline in Brazoswood's enrollment did not come as a surprise. A closer look at the data shows the reasons for this shift at Brazoswood High School. Brazoswood has traditionally seen a high number of students participate in the dual credit and advanced placement course options as they prepare for the rigor of college coursework. In fact, the most recent state comparison data shows that Brazoswood students double the rate for students graduating with 12 or more college credit hours. Over 25% of Brazoswood graduates compared to less than 12.5% for the state. Students now have the opportunity to pursue courses more directly related to their future occupational goals through career and technical education pathways. Students are choosing to take courses such as engineering, robotics, health sciences, and practicums to prepare for their post-secondary education instead of some traditional dual credit or advanced placement course options. Many of these CTE courses also consume more than one period in a student's schedule during their junior or senior year. Based on the dynamics between CTE courses and AP dual credit enrollment, the student outcome goal for Student Outcome Goal 5 may need revision in the future to truly demonstrate the diverse methods for which students can become ready for post-secondary education, including not only AP dual credit enrollment, but also other rigorous options such as those found in CTE. Brazoswood has also been highly impacted by the following dynamics. Dual credit English was opened for the first time to juniors last school year. This resulted in a one-year spike in the number of dual credit enrollments for English last school year. The Learning Frameworks course continues to decline and stabilize as the course was shifted a couple years ago to allow students to access college coursework earlier in their high school years. Additionally, fewer seniors needed to take government and economics this year as it was completed during their junior year. As we move forward, we want to continue to ensure students are taking advantage of the advanced course offerings that are available to them. The following strategies are in place and underway currently. Universal PSAT testing for students in grades 8 and 10 this year provides our district access to AP potential reports for every student. These reports provide valuable information on what AP courses an individual student might see success in. Counselors and teachers are able to use the AP potential reports to foster conversations with students about enrollment in these traditional advanced courses. Advanced placement courses have also been added for next year. These include AP Computer Science Principles and courses in AP Capstone. The Computer Science course has shown broad enrollment and success in other schools. More students show the potential for success in this course according to the AP Potential Report than any other. AP Capstone has also encourages students to take additional AP courses so that they can be designated as an AP Capstone graduate. Dual credit opportunities have expanded to include courses such as Texas Government and Art History, which previously have not been offered. Additionally, the launch of a new collaborative program for instrumentation and process operations with Brazosport College should result in enrollment growth as well. Our CTE director will mention this briefly as well during her report. This January, Brazosport ISD will host its first Scholars Banquet. Students identified as an AP Scholar, which means they have scored a 3 or more on 3 AP exams, or who have earned 18 or more college credit hours, will be acknowledged. Finally, we are exploring additional options for advanced course offerings through UT on-ramps and other venues. At this time, I would like to invite Jesse Jennings up, who will share a little bit about our new CTE certification opportunities and a brief program update. I will return at the end to answer any questions you may have about our advanced course enrollment.
Thank you. Good evening. It is my pleasure to discuss and provide you with the Career and Technical Education update here at Brazosport ISD. With the evolution and introduction of new programs within the CTE department, we have in turn seen an increase in the certifications being offered. Within the manufacturing program, through hands-on tests and simulations, students are able to obtain their API welding certification through the American Petroleum Institution. Advanced manufacturing students are also being introduced to the National Metalworking Skills, or NIM certification, through the National Institute for Metalworking. More opportunities through the education pathway has provided a chance for students enrolled within their senior level practicum course to gather hours to go towards a Child Development Associate certificate, which can be utilized in daycares and early childhood centers. Within the Agriculture, Food, and Natural Resources pathway, starting their junior year within the Veterinary Medical Applications course, students can begin earning hours of hands-on practical experience that will culminate their senior year in their practicum course, allowing them to apply and earn their Certified Veterinary Associate certificate through the Texas Veterinary Medical Association. Finally, students enrolled within robotics through their senior year now have the ability to gain the knowledge and skills necessary not only to construct and operate a drone, but also to test and obtain their FAA 107 drone pilot certification through the Federal Aviation Administration. A new year brings new opportunities for students and teachers alike within CTE. New this year is an internship created within the Business Practicum course at Brazos Wood High School with the City of Lake Jackson. Students are provided the opportunity to work alongside key officials within different sectors in the City of Lake Jackson, such as Parks and Recreation, Human Resources, Finance, Event Planning, all the way to the City Manager, just to name a few. Because of this hands-on experience and exposure into the intricacies of the business world, these students have been motivated to plan and create their own job and career fair for other students to encourage them to explore options and opportunities within our own community. As we know, with the implementation of Project Lead the Way, students have achieved transformative learning experiences through a hands-on and engaging classroom environment that has empowered students to develop in-demand knowledge and skills needed to thrive. Next year, Project Lead the Way sophomores will enroll in their second level course, either Engineering Science or AP Computer Science Principles. New programs and certifications for students also mean more opportunities for growth and training for our instructors as well. Through our generous partnership with Dow for Project Lead the Way, we are able to send our instructors to a 2-week training over the summer for every new Project Lead the Way course introduced at each campus. Also this year, we hosted our second American Welding Society AWS training event for welding instructors, in which teachers from our district, as well as outside districts such as Danbury, Navasota, and Corsicana ISD, just to name a few, joined together at Brazosport High School for a 3-day learning event to obtain additional credentials in order to provide welding certifications to our students in-house, instead of having to travel to outside facilities in order to be certified. BISD is also committed to maximizing our current resources, which includes our partnerships with Brazosport College. New this year is a cohort known as the Catalyst Program, which is created with neighboring school districts that will allow students to enroll and complete dual credit courses at the college, enabling them to earn their associate's degree in process technology or instrumentation within a year after graduation, and a bachelor's degree in these fields within 3 years after graduation. Along with maximizing partnerships, we are currently developing an apprenticeship opportunity for our students through the Brazoria County Petrochemical Council, also known as BCPC, and are currently in the works of creating a signing day this year for high school seniors to highlight this amazing opportunity. More details will be provided in the upcoming months as plans progress. The future of career and technical education is certainly bright thanks to the dedication and commitment provided through a multitude of entities, including our teachers, administrators, boards, community, along with business and industry partners. And for that, we want to say thank you. As we look toward the future, we keep our focus on growing and expanding our current programs, while still maximizing current resources and opportunities, which includes partnering with local colleges and businesses. With the proposal of the 2019 bond, it is our hope that new CTE programs may be introduced, including an information technology pathway, and a locally operated cosmetology salon, while current programs such as health science, STEM, and manufacturing may be expanded to provide more services and amenities in an effort to make our students better prepared and future ready for life after high school. At this time, we would be happy to answer any questions you might have.
The one that kind of jumped out at me, the collaboration with the City of Lake Jackson for internships for other municipalities. Any discussion with any of them?
It's a new program we're implementing, so it's kind of a pilot year.
Okay.
So we're looking, we worked alongside the HR manager for the City of Lake Jackson. So with this successful launch, we're wanting to partner with other municipalities for other campuses as well for the following year.
That's also, it's always been one of the goals, and Scott knows this, the last 20 years, 15 years, we have, one of the big goals and visions of Lake Jackson is to work with BISD to make things like this happen, to have the community become more involved, and it's important.
Thank you, Ms. Jennings. Cole, any questions or any other questions? Hearing none, thank you, sir. The last item on our reports are board committee reports. Any of our board members want to share what's been going on? Mr. Atkins? Pass. Anyone else? All right. The next item is our work session discussion. Our next regularly scheduled board meeting is January 14th. But don't forget, we have a special meeting tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Next item on the agenda is executive session. And we don't need it. So, all right. Unless there is any objection, then we will stand adjourned.
I'd like to say thank you to everybody that offered prayer.
Yes, sir.
It's been it can't happen to me thing, and it did. And I certainly appreciate all our prayers and patience, and I had to come back tonight, or Danny said he was going to clean my locker out, and I couldn't be part of the board anymore, so I'll be gone. But thank you, everybody, for your prayers.
Thank you. Welcome back.